KGB. A once feared sector in the Soviet Union had many sections under its wing. After the fall of the Soviet Union, the KGB had to reform itself for the Russian Federation. After a certain process, KGB was now the FSB, but the main point of the wing remained the same. However, one section didn't change during all this time, and it was at the time Soviet Union's ace in the sleeve, but this ace didn't begin with an A, but with a V. Vympel at the time held the reputation of one of the best special units within the borders of the Soviet Union, a title that would rise them above the rest within the ranks. However, the glory didn't last for long. Due to the collapse of the Soviet Union, Vympel was then reformed, redefined, and reorganized to the point where most of the personnel resigned, leaving only 57 active officers. But later, a more capable set of hands decided to take over the fate of the unit. Now, new and reformed FSB decided that Vympel will be restored to its former glory, and with a new task. No longer focused on sabotage and covert missions, but counter-terrorism and safety of nuclear equipment. Vympel stepped up and received further training in the new field of work, and now they're developed and deployed mostly in cities with crucial nuclear facilities. In caliber, one of the first units to be added is none other than Vympel. And just like their real-life counterparts, the operators were modeled, equipped, and adjusted to their standard. Our 4 operatives are Wolf, Diamond, Grandad, and Shooter. Each have their own specifically designed loadout and backstory in mind, which you can read in their personal file. The information ranges from personal likes, dislikes, and even combat experience, giving these characters personality. Wolf is our assault operative, capable of handling his own and chewing through lone targets. And with his ability, he's a present danger for close and far targets. Having a 90 base HP and 20 armor points on start, but 40 after the tier 6 upgrade. His stamina pool is decent, standing at 600 stamina points, with 3.5 meters per second movement and 5.2 meters per second sprint speed. Sprint cost is 9 stamina points per second. Armed with an AK-74M SR1 pistol, Wolf, if played well, can handle all of the enemy operatives on his own. The AK-74M is a Russian-made assault rifle chambered in a 545 cartridge and 2 magazine options, one that holds 30 rounds and one with 40 rounds and less ergonomics. The rifle fires 9.6 rounds per second and has 55% armor penetration. The base damage is 23, while headshot damage is 38. However, after 35 meters, that damage begins to drop. But for those medium-range targets, or targets behind the wall, the GP30 comes into play. With the 2 disposable rounds, the grenade does 150 damage with 42 armor penetration. But the drop-off damage isn't anything to worry about because it's counted only for extreme long range. The SR1M, or Gyrza, translating to snub-nosed python, perfectly fits the nickname of this sidearm. Chambered in 9x21 cartridge, this semi-automatic pistol definitely presents a threat. The base damage is 20, but the headshot damage is the same as the assault rifle, being 38, with 30% armor penetration. Damage drop begins much sooner at 26 meters. The ability for Wolf makes him a threat at medium to long range. Iron Grip ability allows you to fire without worry, going for the fully automatic medium to long range shots with decreased recoil and increased accuracy. Paired up with that weapons grade armor pen and headshot damage, the operative can definitely be a lone wolf. Diamond is our support operative, made to take and dish out that much damage. His ability makes him the prime target and damage sponge if used properly. Base HP standing at 130 points and 60 armor points paired with the ability makes him truly a diamond. Regular stamina pool at 600 with 3.3 meters per second movement and 4.7 meters per second sprint speed. The sprint cost is 14 stamina points per second. Armed with the beautiful and equally dangerous PKP machine gun, allows Diamond to hold positions, support his team, and make sure you know he's there. And for secondary, he has the SR1M pistol and the third equipment, which is his tool of trade, the smoke grenade launcher. The PKP is a high caliber machine gun chambered in 7.62x54R with 100 round magazine capacity. The fire rate is 8 rounds per second with 70 armor penetration. Base damage is 16 with headshot damage being 26 and the drop off beginning at 47 meters. The GM94 is the third equipment slot, a small grenade launcher that allows the Diamond to perform sneak revives or completely blind the enemy. The ability known as Aegis makes the operative one of the strongest characters in the game by HP amount, only surpassed by the Bison in stationary ability state. When the ability is active, you take 30% less headshots, but you move at a slower pace, with the disabled sprint speed. Granddad cares for his squad, and everybody around him. Being the eldest operative, Granddad is our carrying medic that packs a punch. Base HP starting at 100 points with 40 armor points. As before, the stamina stands at 600 stamina points. Movement being 3.5 meters per second movement and 5.3 meters per second sprint speed. The sprint cost speed costing 9 stamina points per second. SR2M and SR1M paired with the small grenades allows you to make interesting plays or emergency heals in the heat of a gunfight. The SR2M is a submachine gun chambered in 9x21 cartridge and 2 magazine choices of 20 and 30 rounds. The fire rate being 12.5 rounds per second while having 48% armor penetration. Base damage being 17 while the headshot damage is 29, just barely above the Diamond. However, due to the low caliber nature of the weapon, damage drop-off starts at 17 meters. The small grenades or RDGMMs last for 12 seconds with the 4 meter of coverage, carrying up to 3 of them. Granddad's healing ability, also known as treatment, allows him to manually heal a teammate in close contact or himself, allowing you to choose who, how, and when you heal them, or yourself. STRELOK, a name very familiar to every Stalker veteran, knowing its weight. Just like in Stalker, STRELOK in caliber is no one to be messed with. Just like the rest of the squad, he has 600 stamina points with 3.3 meters per second movement and 4.8 meters per second sprint speed. The VSS Ventores is the weapon of choice, chambered in 9x39 cartridge, having 2 magazine choices of 20 and 30. Chambered in a 9x39 cartridge, holding 20 rounds without and 30 with the magazine upgrade. Base damage being 20 and the headshot damage 40. It has a fire rate of 11 rounds per second with 40% armor penetration. The damage starts to drop off after 42 meters. As the special equipment, STRELOK has 3 impact grenades or RGOs, which are grenades that explode upon impacting any type of surface. It deals 130 damage with 35% armor penetration. The recon ability allows STRELOK to spot enemies in a 30-meter radius for a few seconds. However, the ability takes 35 seconds to recharge, so use it wisely. All 4 operatives come with 2 tiers of skins available to them. Regular classic camouflage that can be switched around, epic skins, and legendary. The legendary skin pack for Vympel is non-fictional, but historically accurate, with each member getting fully changed cosmetically, including the weapons. These changes give no tactical advantage whatsoever, but more of a collection piece. Meeting one of these operatives in-game can be different outcomes, whether they are on your team or opposite. Each have a special trait and playstyle to come. Master one of them, and you'll surely be paying an enemy's back. The battlefield is yours to test, and how the Russian saying goes, Snama Bog.